Look in the mirror. What do you see? Most folks see flaws, shortcomings, and a list of things they need to fix. But I'm here to tell you something different. That reflection shows the most valuable asset you'll ever own. Yourself. I watch people every single day walk past mirrors, avoiding their own gaze. They rush through life, heads down, focused on everything and everyone except themselves. They'll spend hours fixing problems for others, minutes scrolling through social media, but won't take 10 seconds to look themselves in the eye and say you matter. A mirror doesn't lie. It shows us exactly who we are in this moment. Not who we were yesterday or who we might be tomorrow, but who we are right now. And that person staring back at you, that's the foundation of everything you'll ever build in your life. You'd never take your most precious valuables and toss them in the corner, forgotten and neglected. You wouldn't ignore your most important investment or take your most valuable resource for granted. Yet that's exactly what most people do with themselves every single day. Your worth isn't measured by your bank account, your job title, or what others think of you. Your worth is inherent, unchanging, and absolute. It's there from the moment you wake up until you close your eyes at night. But here's the thing. You need to recognize it first. You need to stand tall, look yourself in the eye, and understand that everything you want to achieve in life starts with valuing yourself. Because when you truly see your own worth, something magical happens. The world starts responding differently. Opportunities appear, doors open, and it all begins with that person in the mirror. You know, I've spent decades watching people chase success, happiness, and fulfillment, and there's one pattern that keeps showing up. The ones who truly succeed put themselves at the top of their priority list. Not from ego, not from selfishness, but from wisdom. This for a moment. When was the last time you said no to someone else's request so you could say yes to your own needs? When did you last invest time in your own growth instead of solving everyone else's problems? Most of us can't remember, and that's exactly why we're here today. Let me share something that happened just last week. A successful businessman came to me, completely burned out. He'd built $1 million company, had a beautiful family, and looked successful on paper. But he was exhausted, unhealthy, and hadn't read a book or taken a vacation in years. He'd forgotten the most basic truths. You can't pour from an empty cup. Here's what most people get wrong. They think taking care of themselves first is selfish. But let's think about what happens on an airplane. The flight attendant always says, put your oxygen mask on first before helping others. There's profound wisdom in those words. If you pass out from lack of oxygen, you can't help anyone else. Your life works the same way. When you're running on empty, everything suffers. Your work, your relationships, your health, your dreams. You might think you're being noble by always putting others first, but you're actually shortchanging everyone, including yourself. I see it all the time. Parents who never take a moment for themselves. Employees who skip lunch to finish one more task. Entrepreneurs who sacrifice sleep to answer one more email. They wear their exhaustion like a badge of honor. But let me tell you something. Tiredness is not a virtue. Running yourself into the ground isn't a strategy for success. The price we pay for neglecting ourselves shows up in 3 ways. First, our health deteriorates. Small issues become big problems. Stress turns into burnout. That occasional headache becomes chronic pain. Our bodies keep score, and sooner or later, they demand payment with interest. Second, our happiness fades. We become irritable, patient, and lose our joy for life. The simple pleasures that once brought us satisfaction seem hollow. We forget how to relax, how to play, how to simply be without doing something for someone else. Third, our success suffers. Now, this might sound backward, but it's true. When we're depleted, our decision-making gets cloudy. Our creativity dries up. Our ability to spot opportunities diminishes. We start making mistakes we'd never make if we were at our best. Take Tom, a top salesman I knew. He prided himself on being available to his clients 24/7, never took vacations, always answered his phone, worked every weekend. His sales were great for a while. Then his health crashed. He gained weight, developed high blood pressure, and his marriage started falling apart. His numbers dropped, and within a year, he lost his top spot, all because he thought taking care of himself was less important than taking care of business. The truth is, neglecting yourself isn't just a personal cost. It's a tax on everything, everyone you care about. Your family doesn't get the best of you. Your work doesn't get your brightest ideas. Your friends don't get your full presence. And you don't get to experience the richness of life you deserve. Remember this. Self-neglect is not a sustainable strategy for success. It's a guaranteed path to breakdown, burnout, and regret. Now I'm going to tell you something that might shake you up a bit. Every time you say yes to someone else's priorities while pushing yours aside, you're making a statement about your worth. You're saying, my growth, my health, my dreams can wait. But here's the truth. They can't wait. Time moves forward whether you're investing in yourself or not. Let me share 3 fundamental truths about making yourself a priority. First, your physical well-being isn't negotiable. Your body is the vehicle that carries your dreams. When you skip meals, sacrifice sleep, or ignore exercise because you're too busy taking care of others, you're trading your long-term well-being for short-term approval. I remember talking to a CEO named Michael. He used to brag about sleeping just 4 hours a night. Sleep is for the weak, he'd say. Then one day, he collapsed in the middle of an important board meeting. His doctor told him something that changed his life. Your body will force you to rest one way or another. You can choose when and how, or your body will choose for you. Physical well-being isn't just about looking good. It's about having the energy to pursue your dreams, the strength to overcome challenges, and the stamina to stay in the game long enough to win. Every meal you eat, every hour of sleep you get, every step you take, these aren't interruptions to your life. They're investments in your future. Start treating your body like the premium machine it is. Give it premium fuel, food, clean water, enough rest. Move it regularly. Listen when it whispers instead of waiting for it to scream. Your body is the only place you have to live, and no amount of success is worth destroying it. The second pillar is mental strength and clarity. Just like a muscle, your mind needs regular exercise and rest. Reading, learning, meditating, these aren't luxuries. They're essential investments in your greatest assets, your mind. When you make time for mental growth, solutions to problems come easier, creativity flows naturally, and opportunities seem to multiply. Let me tell you about Barbara, a small business owner. She used to pride herself on working nonstop, always available, always problem solving. But she noticed her decisions were getting worse, not better. She started making simple mistakes. Her creativity dried up. That's when she made a change. She began spending the first hour of each day reading, learning, and planning. No phone, no emails, just pure mental development. Within 3 months, her business doubled. Not because she worked more, but because her mind worked better. Your mind is like a garden. What you feed it grows, what you starve dies. Every day you're either feeding your mind with knowledge, wisdom, and positive thoughts, or you're letting it get choked by worries, doubts, and other people's problems. Choose wisely what you let grow in your mental garden. The third pillar, and perhaps the most overlooked, is emotional balance and boundaries. When you're emotionally drained, even small challenges feel like mountains. But when you're emotionally strong, you become a lighthouse for others, stable, guiding, and inspiring. Emotional balance starts with understanding that your feelings matter. Your joy matters. Your peace matters. This means setting clear boundaries about what you will and won't accept in your life. It means learning to say no without guilt and yes with conviction. I knew a teacher, Susan, who was known for helping everyone with everything, students, colleagues, parents. She never said no. She thought being available 24/7 made her a better teacher. But her emotional tank kept running dry. She became snappy with her family, lost her passion for teaching, and started dreading each day. Then she learned about emotional boundaries. She started small. She stopped answering work emails after 6 p.m. She took her full lunch break instead of helping students during that time. She learned to say, I can help you with that tomorrow, instead of dropping everything immediately. Know what happened? Her teaching improved. Her relationships got better. Her students started respecting her time more. These 3 pillars, the physical well-being, mental strength, and emotional balance, work together. Neglect one and the other suffer. Build them all and they support each other. It's like a 3-legged stool, stable and strong when all legs are equal, but unstable if even one is weak. Here's how to start strengthening each pillar. For physical well-being, start with sleep, not what's left over after everything else, but what you need to be at your best. Schedule it like you would an important meeting, because it is one. Add movement to your day, even if it's just a 15-minute walk. Eat food that fuels you, not just fills you. For mental strength, create quiet time for your mind every day. Read something that challenges you. Learn one new thing. Solve one problem. Keep a journal. Your mind needs both stimulation and rest to grow stronger. For emotional balance, start noticing your feelings. When do you feel energized? When do you feel drained? These are your boundaries speaking to you. Listen to them. Set one firm boundary this week. Watch how it feels. Then set another. Remember, these pillars don't build themselves. They need your attention, your time, your commitment. But here's the beautiful thing. Every investment you make in these three areas pays dividends in every part of your life. When your body is strong, your mind is clear, and your emotions are balanced, you become unstoppable. Not in a frantic, exhausted way, but in a sustainable, powerful way. You become someone who not only achieves success, but maintains it. Someone who not only helps others, but inspires them. And that's the real power of prioritizing yourself. You become living proof that taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's essential. You show others that it's possible to be successful without sacrificing your health, your peace, or your joy. These three pillars aren't just nice ideas. They're the foundation of everything you want to achieve in life. Build them strong. Guard them carefully. The quality of your life depends on it. Let me tell you about a lie that's been passed down through generations. A lie so deeply embedded in our thinking that it feels like truth. The lie is this: putting yourself first is selfish. This lie has created more guilt, more stress, and more unfulfilled potential than almost any other false. I see it every day. Good people, capable people feeling guilty about taking care of themselves. A mother feeling guilty about going to the gym. A father feeling guilty about taking time to read. A professional feeling guilty about saying no to extra work. This guilt isn't natural. It's learned, and anything that's learned can be unlearned. Think about where this guilt comes from. Since childhood, we've been told, don't be selfish. Think of others first. Good people sacrifice. These messages came from well-meaning parents, teachers, and society, but they got it wrong. They confused self-care with selfishness, self-respect with self-centeredness. I remember talking to a nurse named Linda. For 20,000 years, she worked extra shifts, covered for colleagues, missed her kids' events. She thought being a good nurse meant always being available. One day, she had a breakdown right in the middle of her shift. You know what she told me? She said, I feel guilty for feeling burned out. Imagine that, feeling guilty about being human. This guilt doesn't just hurt us. It hurts everyone around us. When we feel guilty about taking care of ourselves, we show up as lesser versions of who we could be. We teach our children that their needs don't matter. We show our colleagues that boundaries aren't important. We tell the world that self-respect is optional. But here's what I want you to understand. Taking care of yourself isn't just to eat. It's a responsibility. Just like a car needs maintenance to run properly, you need maintenance to perform at your best. Would you feel guilty about changing your car's oil? About filling it with gas? Of course not. That's what it needs to function. The world has changed, but our guilt hasn't caught up. In the past, maybe we could get by putting ourselves last. But today's world demands more from us. It demands our creativity, our energy, our full presence. You can't give any of that when you're running on empty. Here's how to transform this guilt into empowerment. First, recognize that guilt for what it is: outdated programming. Every time you feel guilty about taking care of yourself, pause and ask, who taught me this? Is this true? Next, understand that self-care isn't selfish. It's smart. It's strategic. It's essential. When you take care of yourself, you have more to give others, not less. You become more efficient, more creative, more present. You make better decisions. You solve problems faster. You connect with others more deeply. I once worked with a business owner who felt guilty about taking weekends off. He worked 7 days a week for years. His business was successful, but he was miserable. Then he got sick, really sick. During his recovery, he was forced to take time off. Something surprising happened. His team stepped up. They became more independent. The business didn't just survive. It thrived. His guilt had been holding everyone back, not helping them. Start small. Take 5 minutes for yourself, then 10, then 30. Notice how taking this time makes you more, not less valuable to others. Notice how your guilt lessens as you see the positive impact of taking care of yourself. Replace guilt with gratitude. Instead of feeling guilty about taking time for yourself, feel grateful that you can. Instead of apologizing for having boundaries, be thankful you've learned their importance. Gratitude transforms the energy of everything you do. Remember this? Every time you break through guilt to take care of yourself, you make it easier for someone else to do the same. You become a permission giver, a role model, a leader. Your actions tell others it's okay to value yourself. It's okay to have limits. It's okay to put your oxygen mask on first. The guilt you feel isn't your voice. It's the echo of old beliefs that no longer serve you. Your true voice knows that taking care of yourself isn't just okay. It's essential. It knows that you can't give what you don't have, can't share what you haven't cultivated, can't lead where you haven't gone yourself. So the next time guilt creeps in, recognize it for what it is. A sign that you're growing, changing, evolving. Let it be the signal not to stop, but to keep going. Because every step you take toward proper self-care is a step toward becoming the person you're meant to be. This isn't just about you. It's about everyone you influence, everyone you care about, everyone you want to help. The best gift you can give them is the example of someone who knows their worth and lives accordingly. Let me share your action blueprint for making yourself a priority. This isn't theory, this is practice. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where your life starts changing. Start with your mornings. The first hour of your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Most people wake up and immediately give their attention to the world. Checking emails, scrolling through news, responding to other people's demands. They hand over their power before they even get out of bed. Let me tell you about Robert, a sales manager I worked with. His mornings were chaos, rushing, stressing, reacting. He started each day already behind. Then he made one change. He claimed the first hour of his day for himself. No phone, no email, no family demands. Just 60 minutes of personal power time, which is his morning ritual. It is one you can start tomorrow. Wake up 30 minutes earlier than usual. I know you love your sleep, but you love what this morning time gives you even more. Spend 15 minutes in quiet thought or meditation, not thinking about problems, but focusing on possibilities. Next, 15 minutes of movement. Simple stretches, a short walk, anything that wakes up your body. Then 15 minutes reading something that feeds your mind, and 15 minutes planning your day. That's it, 1 hour that changes everything. Robert's results, his sales team's performance doubled in 6 months. Not because he worked more, but because he showed up as a better leader, a clearer thinker, a stronger decision maker. Time blocking. Look at your calendar right now. How much time is blocked specifically for your growth? For your health, your dreams? If the answer is none or whatever time is left over, we need to change that today. Time blocking is simple but powerful. Take your calendar and block out non-negotiable time for yourself, just like you would for an important meeting. Because that's exactly what it is. An important meeting with your future self. One for physical health, one for mental growth, and one for emotional balance. Maybe it's 30 minutes for exercise, 30 minutes for reading or learning, and 30 minutes for quiet reflection or connection with loved ones. Guard these blocks like you'd guard your most important business appointment. Because they are. I knew a doctor who complained she never had time to exercise. She saw patients from dawn to dusk, ate lunch at her desk, stayed late doing paperwork. Then she started blocking 45 minutes every morning for exercise. No exceptions, no excuses. Know what happened? She still saw the same number of patients. The paperwork still got done. But now she had more energy, thought more clearly, and enjoyed her work again. Here's the key to time blocking. What gets scheduled gets done. What gets results? What gets results gets repeated. Now here's the most powerful tool in your self-priority toolkit. Learning to say no, it's not just a word. It's a complete sentence. You don't need to explain, justify, or apologize for prioritizing your well-being. Most people struggle with no because they never learned how to say it effectively. They think they need a reason, an excuse, a justification. You don't. No is a valid response by itself. Let me give you some practical ways to say no. Thank you for thinking of me, but I'll have to pass. That doesn't work for me right now. I have other commitments I need to honor. I don't have the bandwidth for that at this time. Notice something. None of these responses include the word sorry. When you prioritize yourself, you're not doing anything wrong. You don't need to apologize for taking care of yourself. I worked with an executive assistant who was known for never saying no. She helped everyone with everything. Her work suffered. Her health suffered. Her family suffered. Then she learned a simple truth. Saying no to others meant saying yes to herself. She started small. She said no to one extra task each day. She protected her lunch break. She stopped answering emails after work hours. The world didn't end. In fact, people started respecting her time more. Her work improved because she focused on what truly mattered. Here's your daily action plan. Wake up 1 hour earlier for your morning power ritual. Block 3 non-negotiable time slots for physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Practice saying no to one thing each day that doesn't serve your priorities. Gamblers is like money. Once you spend it, it's gone. But unlike money, you can't earn more time. You get 24 hours each day, no more, no less. How you invest those hours determines everything about your life. Start viewing your calendar as a roadmap to your best life, not just a list of obligations. Every time you block time for yourself, you're making a statement about your worth. Every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying yes to your potential. This isn't about being perfect. There will be days when life throws you a curveball, when emergencies happen, when you need to adjust. That's okay. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. It's building the habit of putting yourself first so that it becomes as natural as breathing. 1 year from now, you'll wish you'd started today. 5 years from now, you'll look back and either thank yourself for beginning this journey or regret that you didn't. The blueprint is in your hands now. The morning ritual to start your day with power, the time blocking to ensure your priorities get attention, the ability to say no so you can say yes to what matters most. This isn't just about managing time better, it's about managing yourself better. It's about becoming the person who can achieve your dreams because you've built the foundation to support them. Your next action is simple. Pick one part of this blueprint and start tomorrow. Just one. Maybe it's the morning ritual. Maybe it's blocking time for exercise. Maybe it's practicing saying no. Start there. Master it, then add another. This is how real, lasting change happens. One decision, one action, one day at a time. Now here's something fascinating about making yourself a priority. It creates a positive ripple effect in every area of your life. When you respect your time, others respect it too. Value your health, you inspire others to value theirs. When you invest in your growth, you naturally attract opportunities and people who support that growth. Let me tell you about Patricia, a mother of 3 who started prioritizing herself after years of putting everyone else first. She felt guilty at first, spending 1 hour each evening pursuing her passion for painting. But something remarkable happened. Her children started seeing her differently. They saw a mother who respected her dreams, who valued her talents, who wasn't just a caregiver, but a whole person with passions and goals. You know what those kids did? They started pursuing their own interests with more confidence. They learned by example that it's okay to have dreams, to take time for yourself, to be more than what others expect of you. Patricia's simple act of self-priority taught her children more about self-respect than 1,000 lectures ever could. Your relationships improve because you're coming from a place of fullness rather than emptiness. Think about it. When you're exhausted, stressed, and overwhelmed, what kind of partner, friend, or parent can you be? But when you're energized, balanced, and growing, you bring your best self to every interaction. I remember talking to a business executive who never took vacations. He prided himself on being available 24/7. His team respected his work ethic, but they also felt pressured to match it. Burnout spread through his department like wildfire. Then he made a change. He started taking weekends off. He took actual vacations. He stopped sending emails at midnight. The result, his entire team's productivity improved. They came to work refreshed, not exhausted. Creative solutions emerged. Projects finished faster. By taking care of himself, he gave his team permission to take care of themselves. The whole department transformed. Your career advances because you're operating at your peak potential. When you prioritize your growth, you become more valuable in the marketplace. You think clearer, solve problems better, spot opportunities faster. You're not just working harder, you're working smarter. Sarah, a software developer, used to skip lunch to code more. She thought those extra hours made her more productive. Then she started taking proper breaks, exercising regularly, and investing in learning new skills during her designated growth. Her output didn't just maintain, it multiplied. She got promoted twice in 1 year, not because she worked longer, but because she worked better. You become not just a better version of yourself, but a living example of what's possible when someone chooses self-respect over self-sacrifice. People notice. They see the energy you bring to meetings. They notice how you handle stress with grace. They observe how you set boundaries with confidence. Your example creates a permission field around you. When you leave work on time to go to the gym, you make it easier for others to prioritize their health. When you take time to learn new skills, you inspire others to invest in their growth. When you say no to things that don't align with your values, you show others it's possible to live with intention. I've seen entire office cultures shift because one person had the courage to prioritize themselves. One person starts taking a proper lunch break, then another follows, then another. One person sets email boundaries, others realize they can too. One person pursues their dreams, and suddenly everyone starts thinking bigger. This ripple effect extends beyond your immediate circle. Your children learn what healthy boundaries look like. Your friends see what self-respect looks like in action. Your colleagues witness what work-life harmony really means. You become a living blueprint for others to follow. But here's the most powerful part. You don't have to preach it. You don't have to convert anyone. You just have to live it. Your results speak for themselves. Your energy testifies to the power of self-care. Your success validates the importance of self-priority. When you make yourself a priority, you automatically raise the standards for everyone around you. Not through pressure or demands, but through example. People think if they can do it, maybe I can too. That's how real change happens. One person showing what's possible. Every time you honor your needs, you give someone else permission to honor theirs. Every time you invest in your growth, you show someone else that growth is possible. Every time you set a healthy boundary, you demonstrate to others that boundaries are necessary and normal. You're not just changing your life, you're creating a new model of what's possible. You're showing that success doesn't require sacrifice of self. That strength comes from self-care, not self-neglect. That the best way to help others is to first help yourself. So when that voice of doubt creeps in, when you wonder if you're being selfish for taking care of yourself, remember this. Your example might be exactly what someone else needs to see to change their life. Your self-priority might be the permission slip they've been waiting for to start taking care of themselves. This isn't just about you anymore. It's about the ripple effect you create. It's about the lives you touch, the examples you set, the possibilities you open up for others. When you truly make yourself a priority, you become a lighthouse, guiding others to their own path of self-respect and personal power. The legacy you're creating. Every time you make yourself a priority, you're teaching others how to treat you. You're showing the next generation what self-respect looks like in action. You're demonstrating that success doesn't require sacrificing your well-being. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine looking back at this day 5 years from now. Would this be the day you decided to put yourself first? The day you stopped waiting for permission to prioritize your growth, your health, your dreams? Because that's what this moment offers you. A turning point? Life is built on decisions. Small ones, big ones, they all add up. But some decisions carry more weight than others. Some decisions act like dominoes, tip one over, and everything changes. Making yourself your top priority is one of those decisions. I remember meeting a woman named Grace 10 years after she made this decision. She told me something profound. She said, "The day I decided to value myself wasn't just about me. My daughter now knows her worth because she saw me claim mine. My son respects women because he saw his mother respect herself. My colleagues treat me differently because I taught them how. That one decision changed 3 generations." Your next decision could be the turning point. Right now, in this moment, you can choose to make yourself your top priority. Not next week, not when the kids are older, not when work slows down. Now. Because if not now, when? The truth is, the world needs you at your best. Your family deserves you at your strongest. Your work requires you at your most creative. And most importantly, you owe it to yourself to experience life from a place of wholeness rather than depletion. Tomorrow isn't some far-off concept. Tomorrow starts with your next decision. It starts when you close your eyes tonight and set that alarm 30 minutes earlier. It starts when you block out time in your calendar for your growth. It starts when you say your first confident no to something that doesn't serve your priorities. You are not just another task on your to-do list. You are the list maker. You are the dream creator. You are the one who makes everything else possible. It's time to treat yourself with the same care, respect, and priority you so freely give to others. The quality of your life will never exceed the quality of your relationship with yourself. Make that relationship your masterpiece, because when you truly make yourself your top priority, everything else doesn't just fall into place. It rises to meet the standard you've set. Your time is now. Your priority is you. And your next decision could change everything. Choose wisely. Choose yourself. Don't let this be just another talk you heard, another idea that faded with time. Let this be the moment you decided to write a new story. A story where you matter, where your dreams matter, where your well-being matters. Because years from now, someone will tell a story about you. And maybe it'll be your children, maybe your colleagues, maybe strangers who watched you from afar. What story do you want them to tell? The story of someone who gave until they had nothing left. Or the story of someone who showed them what it means to value yourself, to honor your worth, to live with purpose and power. The choice is yours. The time is now. And I believe in your power to make that choice, to make yourself your top priority, to create a legacy of self-respect that will echo through generations. Make your next decision count. Make it for you. Because everything begins there.